Thank you so much. And it has been a busy few weeks because for those of you who don't follow Australian politics very closely, we've just had an election, new government, the whole world's changed. So it seems that some of you do follow Australian politics. Thank you. I'm delighted to join all of you for this very special event. And in Australia, normally when we come to an event like this, we first acknowledge the traditional owners of the land or the sea that we're meeting on that day. So today instead what I'd like to do is acknowledge all the First Nations people globally, pay respects to their elders and acknowledge the significant and enduring role played by Indigenous peoples everywhere in protecting our precious environment. I also very much want to thank our close friends and our partners, the French government, for this invitation. And of course, I'm very grateful to the government of Portugal and of Kenya for hosting this wonderful conference, the opportunity to bring so many of us together. Australia is delighted to endorse the joint declaration on the creation of a global coalition for blue carbon. We believe a global coalition for blue carbon has the potential to complement the research and programs that Australia helps coordinate through the International Partnership for Blue Carbon. We have one of the longest coastlines on Earth, estimated at more than 34,000 kilometres. And we're home to about 12% of the world's blue carbon ecosystems, from mangroves to seagrass beds to salt marshes. So we very much understand the importance of protecting, of restoring and expanding these environments. The situation has never been more urgent. As previous speakers have said, up to 50% of our planet's coastal ecosystems have been lost over the last century. There's no such thing as a healthy environment or healthy oceans without action on climate change. And we absolutely can't tackle climate change without taking action on our oceans. Ambition is our only option. Our new Prime Minister has committed Australia to a 43% emissions reduction target by 2030. And we have submitted an updated nationally determined contribution under the Paris Agreement to reflect this increased ambition. Legislating this goal will be one of our first actions as a new government. Later this week, our government will also announce 5 new domestic blue carbon projects. These projects will restore mangroves, salt marshes and seagrasses across our coasts, around our nation. They will help increase carbon sequestration, marine diversity and mitigate against flooding. I think one of the most exciting things about blue carbon is we obviously have the carbon pollution reduction benefits, the carbon sequestration benefits, but it is such an amazing opportunity to increase biodiversity as well. We are privileged as Australians to be home to the oldest continuous environmental custodians on Earth. For more than 65,000 years, Australia's Indigenous people have cared for land and sea country. Country to First Nations Australians is so much more than just its physical properties. There is much Australia and the world can learn from this example. And it's why our government will double the number of Indigenous rangers by the end of the decade, so that 3,800 First Nations people will be supported to care for their traditional land and sea country. These rangers fuse knowledge, tens of thousands of years of knowledge, with the latest in modern science to better protect and restore our nation's most precious blue carbon ecosystems. We'll also partner with our friends across the Pacific to support blue carbon projects, to share the latest blue carbon science and, of course, accounting. Under the new Australian government, the environment is back, front and centre. And we're not only committed to doing our bit, but we're willing to step up with our partners to show global leadership. I look forward to working with all of you in the critical years ahead. Thank you.
Authorised by Tanya Plibersek, Australian Labor Party, Sydney.